done?
Done.
Is it wonderful?
I cannot die. I am forever.
Hellraiser, Bloodline, was supposed to be the epic of the franchise. A prequel, a sequel, and a finale all rolled into one. Instead, it became the franchise's first direct-to-disaster film. This is the story of how studio interference, missing footage, and some French clown Cenobites turned a possible generation-spanning masterpiece into a footnote.
Does this pathway work both ways?
Bloodline is insane in the best way possible. 3 timelines, 1 cursed bloodline, and the origin and destruction of the infamous puzzle box. 18th century, Philip Marchand builds the puzzle box for a demon-summoning aristocrat. 20th century, his descendant John Merchant unknowingly recreates the box as architecture. 22nd century, Paul Merchant takes the fight to space to end the Cenobite threat once and for all. And on top of all that, an Alan Smithee movie.
Alan Smithee is a fictitious name that was selected 28 years ago in Hollywood to stand in as the name of a director in the credits for a movie when the real director wanted his name taken off the film for any reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a blast. First time, so.
Yeah. Thanks again for being willing to revisit Hellraiser Bloodline with us a little bit. I know it was kind of a frustrating experience for you. But,
yeah, it was a little painful, but yeah, I haven't talked about it actually much at all.
Yeah,
so you guys may be the first interview I've done about it.
Yeah.
And what I loved about it was how it started from, it told us the history. And I dug the fact that you could go through 3 time periods. So I was like thinking to myself, I could do 3 films here. I could do a, French film.
Yes.
And I can go into modern day.
Yeah.
And then I would go into, the future. And I thought, this is awesome. And it tells the whole story of the box. And I thought that was intriguing.
And then Miramax showed up in a skinless suit like Frank, ready to ruin everything.
I still love directing. It's like one of my hardest things I've done, but the funnest thing. And then I had this experience in Hellraiser, and it kind of taught me a lot about Hollywood, how Hollywood works. I got a crash course in working with a studio head, that was, tough. It was
quirky.
tough. Yeah, quirky and tough. And
Bob Weinstein freaked out that Pinhead doesn't show up until halfway through the film. So they did what studios do best, fire the director and rewrite the script, and butcher the original script. And Yagher pulled a Lynchian move and demanded his name be removed.
not David Fincher, but somebody else like that has used Alan Smithee, And it means that, it doesn't mean that, and they don't want that because it looks bad. It just, the studio will say, why do they use Alan Smithee? It must be a bomb. And so it doesn't do well. I just couldn't put my name on it because it wasn't my film anymore.
It wasn't artistically your vision.
And so I kind of just, but they were trying to convince me. So they went off and shot 3 different versions. 30% was replaced each time.
Wow.
So you're talking about,
Correct.
They shot a third of it and then showed it to me. I said, no, they weren't trying to please me, but they just were getting good reviews from other people. So they do it again. And it took, I don't think it came out 2 years after I had finished it.
Alan Smithee, the cinematic walk of shame. A dodgy work print does exist. It's raw, unpolished, and infinitely more interesting. In this work print, we get a chronological structure. No outer space cold open. Angelique's rivalry with Pinhead fully fleshed out. A proper arc where she defeats Pinhead with a failed version of the box. Her original Cenobite entourage. And that's how Bloodlines became a stitched-together Hellraiser.
The makeup takes 4 hours to do, and about 45 minutes to an hour to remove.
If Bloodlines had been a hit, we might have seen another theatrical Hellraiser. Maybe even Clive Barker back in the mix. But instead, Hellraiser was dumped into DTV hell for the next 2 decades. Inferno, Hellseeker, Deader, Hellworld. Bloodline was a warning, and Miramax didn't listen.
2 minutes, 2 centuries. It all ticks by so quickly.
You are so very like your ancestor. Did you know that? I have a distinct sense of déjà vu. The same defiance, the same faithless hope in the light.
And what do you have faith in?
Nothing. I am so exquisitely empty.
Hellraiser Bloodline isn't a great movie, but it was a great idea. A bold, dark, gothic experiment that deserves far more appreciation than it got. One thing's clear. Kevin Yagher swung for the fences.
So coming back to Hellraiser, you know, what that meant was, you know, that he didn't know how much gore and blood he wanted in Hellraiser. He was still toying with making that PG-13. So, but he had the feeling before we started shooting. So he tells me, no hooks and chains for Pinhead. And
Hellraiser,
and I don't know. I don't want to do any blood right now. Right. Just hold off doing those scenes. And there are 4 or 5 pretty juicy. We had this carnival scene. It was amazing. I mean, Pete Bugshally, yeah, the clowns, yes, yeah. And they, you know, I had Phil Vonacaro, who's here. You know, he was going to be the little, you know, jester or whatever. There was. And,
it's a great scene.
He did an adaptation of my Sucker story.
Yeah, Peter Script.
Yeah, Peter Script. And then it ends up swallowing up
Augustus.
Thank you. I don't have to think.
Maybe this pantomime.
No, keep doing that because you keep.
If you want a glimpse of what was meant to be, check the work print.
What those things are.
Jacques, have I ever disappointed you?
I want to talk about your beginnings because obviously you have this great career, very impressive career, but I always like to try and bring people back to when they're first starting out. And I didn't realize this. You got started out in a horror movie in 1996.
Yeah.
A movie called Hellraiser Bloodline.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
We have a picture of you, a still of you from Hellraiser Bloodline. There you are.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which number Hellraiser was that?
The 4th.
Well, it got you launched, you know?
Yeah, it sure did.
That's how we all know you.
Yeah. It's one of the only movies directed by Alan Smithee, which is the name that the Directors Guild uses if no one wants to take credit for the movie.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, it's like one of 3 movies directed by Alan Smithee.
Wait, that's the name they use on movies if no one wants to take credit for it?
That's right.
We should start calling this show Smithee.